What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53. Man, I'm back again. I'm back again with an exclusive interview, man. Um, when I did last month, or was that month before last, one of them, but when I did my interview with my partner and interview for the Bloods, I got a lot of comments from around the country from the disciple section. They wanted me to do one about the GDs. And I kept telling them, people in the comments, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Well, of course, now it's here. People have schedules and you have to work around schedules. But now I finally tracked my partner down. This is a very, very influential person in the GD nation as far as Alabama goes. Very influential. I was in prison with him. I did 23 straight. He did 28 straight. He gave it all to him. And I seen this get down. He had a lot of pull. He had a lot of influence. He was like the counterpart of me as far as how I was with the Crips, how he was with the G's. His voice carried a lot of weight. He's very knowledgeable in the GD section of at Birmingham, Alabama. And so when our schedules finally came together and we finally met and we sat down and I got the interview. It's two parts. This is part one right here. This is part one. I'm going to let y'all check it out with no further ado and let the homie speak for himself, you know? What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, I'm sitting here, man, with my partner, Big Thurman, out of Birmingham, Alabama. There's a lot of people that want to know about the GDs in Alabama. And I kept telling y'all, I said, look, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I say, well, I know the perfect person to go to get it. This young man right here, he been around a long time. He a vet. He a OG in Birmingham. He a OG in that GD thing. I was in prison with him. Much respect, had a good track record, no smut, no dirt. And if anybody can give you the story of it, he can. And that's where we doing our interview today. Homie, introduce yourself to the Foundation.
Yeah, man, I'm Thurman, OG Thurman, right? Long as Butter, Birmingham, Alabama. Tussles at original trap boy.
Okay. How old are you?
50.
50 years old. And you born and raised in Birmingham?
True.
All your life. What was it like coming up in Birmingham?
Well, I was born, part of my life, part of my youth was spent in Crack City. And as a youngster, I moved a little farther west to West End. And there's a significant difference between West End and Crack City back then. West End was more, Crack City was more of a community where, you like party, mess with the girls, and, you focus on looking good and dressing good and things like that. Versus in West End, in West End, it was more gang street time, more
hood.
Yeah, more hood, so, by me having an upbringing in Crack City, and then later, I guess like 10, 11 years old, moved farther west, and West End, it's like I had, upbringing on both sides.
What schools did you go to?
Scott Elementary, that's in Brett City, of course. Daniel Payne Middle School, that's Brett City. West End High School. I dropped out of high school in 9th grade. I did like 2-3 months in 9th grade. School was over.
Okay.
The rest of my school was the streets.
You came up in a two-parent household or a one-parent?
No, single mom.
Single mom?
Me and my mom.
Work? You got brothers and sisters?
Yeah, they're a lot younger than me. I was the oldest child.
You was the oldest child?
So I was like 10, 11 years old.
Okay. So now, when you went to the West Side, moved to West End, of course, I know a little bit about it myself, being out here now. Like I say, that's the hood, y'all. In case you don't know, he come up in the trenches. But So what was your growing up like once you got up over there? You know what I'm saying? Your influences, the people you seen and hung around.
Well, first of all, I was kind of influential myself because coming from Pratt City, it's like back then anyway, we had like a different swag than everybody else. So I got a lot of attention from the way I carry myself, the way I dress. But at the same time, it was kind of hard on me at first because that was like gangsta city over there versus me coming from a more mellow community or whatever. So it was like I went through a transition, had to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my first true encounter with the streets was I actually got into it with the disciples. As a youngster, 13 years old, coming from a bar, got jumped by him. Of course, by being in my nature, hold the grounds, I retaliated. It was a little small, little brief war, but my cousin, my blood cousin, he was like second in command of the disciples at the time, rest in peace, the Winchell. And he brought all that to a little squash. He squashed all that and brought that to a end. So I went from, sort of like being the tour with the guys to becoming one of the guys.
Okay. And in your whole area was predominantly or 100% GD or disciples?
We were disciples, right? But we were very few at the time, though, because you got to keep in mind that this was during the days when it's like it was like kind of like first being birthed down here in the South.
Mm-hmm.
And it was disciples to come through before then, but it was not a known thing. It hadn't progressed to the point that it is today. None of those things right there. So we were really outnumbered, and we were very disliked. So that's probably one of the reasons that I kind of like have difficulty with grabbing things of the day, because I can remember it was a time where it wasn't many of us. We was disliked by everybody. And a lot of guys that claim to be so-called leaders or calling shots or whatever, it was the same guys like, I ain't running with y'all. They got a crew called Disciple Busters. They gonna kill y'all. I ain't running with y'all. But these other guys. Some of these guys have voices now, whatever. So, kind of like.
So let me ask you this: because you've been here a minute. So when Disciples first hit Birmingham, it was a lot of opposition against it, and they had a group called the Disciple Busters.
True. Yeah.
So that was y'all main nemesis, y'all main enemies.
Yeah, but now you really got to be like an OG to know about all this.
Right, right.
This was like some 80s stuff right here. It was a clique of like different fraternities, other gangs, the Bloods, the BOS's, Brothers in Style, CBI, all those old fraternities and gangs from back in the days. I guess they seen the uprising about to take place, so they formed a crew called Disciple Busters, and that's basically where we started. It really helped increase our growth and our strength, actually.
So tell us about trap.
About trap, oh man, that's a long thing. I'm gonna put something out there eventually when the money get right enough for it. But now anybody that's from Birmingham and a true OG, they know that trap originated in Birmingham on Tussauds Avenue. This was during the days when I guess somebody like T.I. and Young G's and all them, they were snot nose, they was little boys during our time. We the first trap niggas in the world. Everybody know that. There's much evidence, we got pictures. And anybody that's from Birmingham, of age, they can attest to this right here.
Mm-hmm.
I see it originally started, we had a couple of partners that get killed. They had a triple homicide. And two of our partners was part of that homicide, like Al and Peanut. So we made little t-shirts for their firm or whatever, TRAP, to remember Al and Peanut. And then after so long, I guess after about a few months or something, there was just so many people around town saying them trap boys, them trap boys, them trap boys, we said, okay, we're gonna put another meaning to it. And we finna start representing it. So, we was the first people in the world calling ourselves trap boys. The first trap was on Tussauds Avenue, Birmingham, Alabama. When somebody said they going to the trap in Birmingham, everybody know they talking about they going to Tussauds Avenue. But we also got a partner named Flip. He was a pretty boy, college boy. He went out to college and moved to Atlanta, and of course, we trap. And, I'm very strongly assuming that's how Atlanta picked that term and ran with it. But back in the G, in 90, 91, before a lot of those guys, he started middle school or something. He was already, on the block trapping.
So let me ask you this: when the disciples first came to Birmingham, were they 274 or GD first?
You had several people. You had several people come down. But now like in the other places in the South, we had to go through that infiltration stage where you have guys claiming to be, this big figure or something from Chicago would come down here. And you know how Birmingham is. Anybody that ain't right, they gonna get gobbled up fast. So
yeah.
Of course, we went through that. Well, the perpetrators was dealt with, but then you had some solid guys that was down. Like the Lightfoots and 98 Posse. I know a lot of people don't know what I'm talking about because this was real back in the day shit, in the beginning shit. You had 98 Posse, Lightfoot, you had a couple of guys come down here and and set their mark. And of course, we picked it up and ran with it. But now my hood though, from where I'm from, we was up on the leadership of a guy called Spider Man. And after he turned our hood up with the disciple thing, he kind of like faded the scene for a few years. And by the time he come back, we had grew in numbers, grew in strength, grew in confidence, and it was like, we qualified to lead over here. So, of course, we put the leadership in our own hand and carried that flame ourselves. And I was one of the ones that carried that flame. This song is going to be looking at this interview that's going to be like, yeah, he did. Of course, it's going to be those that, try to avoid the truth. But now, I'm one of the ones that really kind of like responsible for spreading the disciple thing throughout Alabama. We already know that it's a jail gang, actually. It's inside out, outside in, actually. So now, of course, just like anywhere else in those early days, it was spread through jail. Juvenile time, I'm responsible for some of the first disciples in Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, other little states from, being in boys' school and pulling them down and having them go back out and spread around their neighborhood. I'm gonna pull up when I get out and we're gonna do the thing. So,
now,
played a big part of spreading around the state.
One thing I know I can attest to, because like I say, we were in prison together, and I was there long enough to see that your neighborhood, when it come to this disciple thing, that trap was like one of the first established group areas that I would run across when I was in prison. Because you had disciples all over Birmingham, but when they went for as far as a certain area where you knew this whole area, when a dude said, I'm trapped, I'm Tuscaloosa. That was like, was that y'all goal to let people know and make sure young people knew that, okay, this group right here, this is our group, this disciples, we trap.
Well, we was just young and thugging. We didn't have the type of mindset like, we want to be heard, we want to be seen. We just doing what we do, and all that came along with it. When you get a group of young guys that click together and can create a certain amount of power, then you're going to attract people, you're going to attract attention. It's just that we was young and we didn't use the power for the right thing. But what we used it for, we accomplished what we used it for, and that was dealing with the streets. We brought on them, all the crews about Birmingham, actually.
Now, who was around Trap? You had your neighborhood Trap, but as far as like other cliques and like groups like Crips and Bloods and all that, who was to the left, to the right?
I'm gonna say our biggest nemesis was actually the nasty boy Crips. And shout out to them though, because I met quite a few of them as we got older, and come to learn that them brothers was just the same as us. They was just doing a different color from the other side of the track. But they wore stories all the same as our war stories. They, good times. They sound like the same thing we was doing. So when you get older, you realize that you really all the same, really. But as a youngster, those are our nemesis. BOS Bloods, the Gate City Power Rules, basically we was into it with everybody. But now let me set this record straight right here, because a lot of people have it all wrong. The first GDs in Birmingham, they actually was out of Belmont, Alabama. Those were the first GDs in Birmingham, Belmont, Alabama. I know all of them because I ran with all of them. Durlin and Boucher and Aunt Massey, shanking all them guys. Them was actually the first GDs in Birmingham. You know, they had killed with it, put the demo down for them and burnt them in. But now, you know, everywhere else, you know, we was banging 274, 6 straight gangster, IGD, you know, and this and that right there. But as time passed, you know, and the word came down, the paperwork came down, you know, that, you know, we stand up on this banner right on this road development banner, you know, the guys, you know, they, of course, you know, took on the concept, you know, that was sent down, and so, you know, that was really the spread of GD throughout Birmingham and Alabama.
Would you say disciples at one time were the biggest group? I don't want to say gang, because I know since I've been out here, you know, most disciples, they would always say, well, we ain't no gang, we're organization.
Eventually.
You know, they were eventually it became the biggest gang in Birmingham. Huh? Okay. Because I know when I was in the pen, ran into a lot of y'all. It was an abundance of y'all.
But then, you know, it's pros and cons with that also. You know, it's like, you know how things start off in the beginning, and there's many doubters, but there very few that say, yeah, go, you know, and then when everything blossomed and looking good and the power over him, then of course in the track, you know, everybody want to be a part. You know, I'm quite sure every other gang or organization or group, they went through that as well. So, you know what I'm talking about. You know, everybody jumping the band. The difference between though disciples and other gangs though, you know, we deal with organization. You know, we deal with rank and file. So by dealing with rank and file, even those that just, you know, on the bandwagon, say for security, it's all good. You know, it's all good with us. We come on join in for security because that's what we provide anyway. But for the security though, you finna do your part though. You know, so,
right.
You know, that's how that goes.
So it was a very structured group.
True.
Rules and regulations had to be adhered to.
That's it still is.
And there you go. Yeah.
You know, there's a process going on right now that I can't really speak on.
Right.
You know, it still is.
I can understand it. I want you had touched on something when you said that the word that came down from like 274 to GD. Did that kind of catch you off guard?
No, not at all. Because I was already familiar anyway, just like a lot of it was familiar anyway. You know?
Right.
So, I didn't catch nobody off guard. You know, actually it was a weapon for real though, because it created like a better sense of unity. So,
That's what's up. That's what's up. Because I know when I was in prison, I remember, you know, it wasn't my business, but I'd be listening. You know what I'm saying? And I would see where a lot of them was like, okay, no more 274, strictly GD.
True.
You know what I'm saying? They was going through their little upheavals and turns about that.
Yeah. But now, you know, it's like you can't really have nothing that's going to be productive without structure.
Right.
You know, if you're a part of something that basically don't have a leader, don't have nobody stepping up to the plate and saying, you know, this is the platform, this is what's needed, this is what we're doing, and, you know, I guess it just deals a game. You still have some now that refuse to accept, you know, what's been set forth and what's needed. Because see, what's been set forth is actually what's needed. And so you have a lot to, you know, still reject that, you know, because basically don't want to, you know, lazy, don't want to be a pawn, don't want to do right or get right. You know, like you being in prison, you already know that one of our biggest problems in prison was drugs. You know, that go against our policy. So. Yeah, many just like in prison on the streets that don't want to let go of, you know, what's tearing them down, so they reject it and hold on to what they hold on to so they can still appear to be a part, but they're actually not a part.
So let me ask you this, do you have a lot of, do the disciples in Birmingham, Alabama, do y'all have a lot of close ties with the disciples in Chicago?
Well, you know, GD is unified nationwide, so, you know, between 18 plus states or whatever, you know, everybody communicate.
Okay. So, that's real.
Guys, they holding it down, they stand together, unified, they build it.
So as you got older and you start getting into more and more stuff, did you see yourself turning toward the prison route, or did it catch you off guard?
What you mean turning toward the prison?
Like you know, like you got a lot of people at a young age, they got older homies and you know that, man, you out in these streets wild and you cutting up. You know, boy, look at you going to jail one day, you know?
Oh, you know, I've been told that many times.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be true, you know. But now, you know, coming up, I was really impulsive. And then even today I got a low tolerance for BS. You know, it's like it's a whole lot easier just to tell it like it is and just let it be versus throwing shade and wasting everybody's time. You can just keep it real at the gate. And, you know, it's just like we got some work to do, and you know you really don't want to do your part. You know, it's a waste of time telling us that I got this. Then when it's time to get it done, you don't get it done when you could just say it at the top. You know, at the gate that I can't handle this part right here. No hard feelings. We just gonna get somebody to put in that place to take care of the responsibility instead of wasting time. So you know.
That's real. That's real.
A lot of that as well, you know. But you know, there's a lot of people that be involved for status, you know, for name and popularity. You know, but the thing is though, when you put in work though, and you do what you're supposed to do, you know, you're gonna shine anyways. You don't have to seek those things.
That's right.
That's gonna be afforded to you anyways. You know, once you're doing what you're supposed to do. And, you know, I've been around for a long time. You know, I ain't the first. I guess you know, he's been classed as one of the original disciples from Alabama. So, you know, I've seen many different phases of many different changes. And, you know, and of course I stayed in prison a while. And he was there with me for a portion of it. So, you know, I believe in structure. I believe in, you know, laws and policies and all that right now. But at the same time, though, you know, when you're in prison, it's a lot of my guys that were supporting to my leadership that had like without 4-5 licenses and actually gonna be there for the rest of their life. So you know, when you're in prison, it's just like out here in society, a person that's been in prison for a long time, getting out here in society with their great ideas or whatever, trying to tell somebody in society how shit should go out here. And that's foolish right now because you've been gone too long. It's the same way versus somebody come in prison trying to tell you how to survive in prison. So, you know, it's like the way the leadership is designed now, you know, through rank and file, you know, you got guys that's able to make decisions. You know, you got guys that make decisions for guys in prison. And that's where the problem come in with me at because like when I seen me some daylight, when I was finna get out of prison, I removed myself from leadership because I felt as though that I was no longer qualified to make decisions for guys that's gonna be for the rest of their life. You know, because you might have to make a decision and you know how it's going now. Yeah. I've seen it many times. And, you know, Alabama is the most dangerous and violent prison system in the whole country. So you know you've seen a lot of what we call shootings in prison, you know. And it might be a decision made where you may have to make the call man to come down on site, you gotta get it. You know, but me thinking like I'm finna get out of prison with like a free world mentality. I might say, nah, because you know, nah, don't shoot him, let him go, and this and that. And that just might not be the best decision for the guys that gotta continue to live in prison. So, you know, just had to deal with that a lot. There's a lot that even when I got ready to get out, there's a lot that I had to set in place for the security and the way of being of those that still up in there. There was guys considered to be elders that had to be dealt with that I know, you know, their main objective is to exploit, you know, the youngsters, use them for their benefit versus, you know, using them to make better for themselves. So, you know, we deal with all that right now.
So over the years, have you lost a lot of the people that you grew up with?
Yeah, many people died out of my hood for that thing. You know, we was flat out bangers during one little period of our lives. You know, of course we did our hustling this and that, but you know, we were territorial. You know, you couldn't come down that street without showing you respect. You know, we had our little ghetto gangs as youngsters. You know, Newport Beatles, where you know anybody wear some type of cigarette hat out the pack. You know, cool hat, we jump on them for fun. You know, little ghetto gangs, but and so like you basically had to be able to hold yourself to come up in my hood. You had to be able to hold your own. And then, you know, by me being a pioneer, you know, it still certain standards that are set that even right now to the day that those in my neighborhood still follow. You know, like for instance, one of the main things, no matter how much gang we is, you still, you know, making sure being to respect your elders and you know, stay clear of old folks and stuff like that. You know.
Right.
You know, that's how I was raised anyway.
Right. Protocol.
What I did, you know.
That's right.
Some things I had respect for children and old folks. So, you know, we still stand on that now. But, you know, just violence it always has been. So.
Okay, Foundation. That right there is gonna conclude part 1. Part 2, we're gonna be going into the jail stint. Okay, that was the end of the part 1. Part 2 be coming up very, very soon. Part 2, it gets a little bit more in depth into the inner workings of the GD Nation in Birmingham, Alabama. So with that, I'm gonna say y'all stay safe. Tell the people you love them, and keep your head on the swivel. Remember, I represent the gangsters too, the Avalon gangsters. I'm out. Peace.